I wanted to talk to you about a couple things to encourage you before we go into the holiday season because this is my last space for 2025. And I want to remind you that all of you that had set in motion this pursuit on how you're going to learn things I teach, develop a model, work towards consistency, work towards profitability, and eventually carve out whatever future you have established for yourself as a goal. And it's really important for you not to share those ideas with anyone because the world is drunk on it. Maybe some of you are still struggling with that. You're trying to sober up, come out of the world, come out of the ways of thinking about, I got to get a mortgage and that for the rest of my life in my job. I got to finish university and get my degree. And maybe I don't know if I want to do that career for the rest of my life. What would my parents think? What would my spouse think? What would I think about myself? What if I wasted my time, my money, my effort doing all those things? That's what the world wrestles with daily. But something you specifically is different. Yes, you're aware that everybody has to have utility bills, no matter how much money you have. As those, you always have insurances, you always have cost of living. But you know enough about yourself that this time on this spinning rock that we get isn't promised of any specific length in time. So you have to make the best of it while you can. And what you get in terms of rewards, success, is what you have placed in it in terms of effort and pursuit. And the majority of everyone in this world, they want it for free. They want a lottery win, something they didn't have to work for, but they deserve it. And you know enough about the world and yourself, you know that you have to go out there and get it. You can't wait for your ship to come in to pick you up. You got to swim out to it. Your pursuit of bettering yourself, bettering your family tree, building a legacy of wealth. You chose to do that. No one before you. You. You're the captain at the helm. You're the CEO. Everything's resting on your shoulders. And you made the conscious decision to work towards doing this. It was probably the easiest sell in the world the first time you saw it being done. I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to do what she just did. I want to do what he just did. I want to do what they're all doing. They're all speaking a language that I don't know, but I want to be a part of the conversation. I want to be among them because where I'm at right now in the world, it is lonesome. I have all these friends. I have all these coworkers. I have all these football games that I can pal around with, tailgating. But after the game, I'm right back in that same place, wanting more. It's a distraction. I want substance. I want better. And that's not wrong to feel that way. But your friends live under a different set of rules. Your coworkers live under a different set of rules. Your employers definitely live under a different set of rules. And family, Well, they're a different dynamic altogether because you love them and you expect them to love you for what you're trying to do for yourself. You want them to encourage you, but surprisingly, when you share these things with them, you tell them, this is what I'm working hard for. Oh, is that college? Well, no, not really. Wow. That sounds like a waste. And as soon as you talk about what you could potentially make, and they ask you what you have made thus far, and you have nothing to show them, those are the questions you don't want to be asked when you're first learning. Because you have done the due diligence of placing those wants, those expectations ahead. You've placed them in the future. You are deferring instant gratification, a concept that the majority of people in the working class can't grasp. That's why credit card debt is so high, and bankruptcies are so high, and foreclosures are so high. Sure, they may have a fast car, looks great on the driveway, but you're losing your house. Sure, you have the best kicks on your feet right now. You're dressed to the nines, but you don't have any food in your pantry or your refrigerator. The grocery list is short. Half empty mayonnaise, a couple squirts left in the ketchup, no milk in the jug. So when you tell the world, while you're striving for it, while you're working for it, and you haven't obtained it yet, don't lose sight that the world has not adopted the mindset that you have before you began. You knew it wouldn't be right away as much as you want it to be, but you pressed that down deep. You pressed it down, you swallowed that. You said, I will defer that want. Let me see what I can do. Let me find myself in this. And you want your family, above all, you want your family to turn to you and say, wow, this is incredible. This is actually exciting. I'm excited for you. When you do well, can you show me how you did it? That's what you want to hear. That's what you want to experience. Because it's hard to muster up the power to get into this and stick with it because it's dry. It's very, very boring stuff in the beginning, and it's fruitless for a long time. Much like a college degree. But many in this world are willing to do all kinds of things academically, through sports, and through parents paying a large portion of those college tuitions with no hope, no guarantee that a high-paying job in that field is waiting for you. But many students press themselves into that mold and they dig down deep. I better do it. I better do it. I better do it. Stick to it. It's hard, but it's worth it. It's hard, but that job's not guaranteed. Your happiness doing that job is not guaranteed. But something about this, something in these charts resonated with you. Something spoke to you and said, this is for me. Far beyond just seeing someone make money with it. Something in this spoke in a deeper level. It tapped into something that you probably never realized about yourself, that you wanted more. More than those that love you, that you love, that have been friends with you for a majority of your life. Your coworkers that you've been placing the time clock as a mutual chain tethering you to the boss. You've known them for years. You wanted them to look at you and say, wow, that's incredible. Like, can you tell me more about that? But they're drunk. And because they're drunk, they're lost. They're stumbling through life. They don't know what they're doing from one minute to the next. And they're numbing themselves to the pain of just existing in a mundane existence, 9 to 5ing it, Monday through Friday. So it's not a surprise, or it shouldn't be a surprise to you, when they lean in and they tell you with their whiskey whispers, you're gonna lose. You're wasting your time. Don't let that affect you. Don't let it bother you. Remember, you're the one that's sober. You're the one that sees it as it really is. You knew this was going to be hard when you first started. You knew you were going to have to work for it. You didn't ask your family's permission to do this. You didn't ask your friends' support before you started. And you're not asking for your coworkers to encourage you to stay working there when you can afford not to be. Setting your mind to a task like this takes a great deal of willpower and focus and discipline. And you're going to have to love your friends and family from a distance. And don't always feel like you have to let them know what you're doing. There's nothing wrong about that, because you're presently under construction. You're at work right now in the laboratory building this financial monster that's inside you. It is yet to be released because it's still incubating. And no one else is going to understand it like you. No one's going to appreciate the sheer power that it feels like when you have it in your hands, that you're wielding the foresight of knowing what price is going to do, and then it does it. And you know, by doing that over and over again, repetitively, you're acquiring a skill set that far, far too little in this population has the capacity to be able to do. But you've tasted it. You've felt it. You've seen what it feels like to wield that. And no one can convince you otherwise that this is for you. But don't let love and fellowship distort your focus. You have not arrived yet. You're still working in that direction, but allowing other people in and whispering doubts into you, whispering questions of whether or not this is really something that's going to work for you. You have to prevent those opportunities while you're focusing. These people whom you love, or maybe you are friends with them online. You don't know them. You never met them, really. But they have a following and you want to be a part of their community. And maybe they found out because you've been open with them and honest, saying, yeah, I'm trying to learn these smart money concepts. I'm trying to do this ICT thing. What? That fraud? You're wasting your time listening to that guy? You're never going to get what you want on social media, sharing your own business, except for regret. Just this year alone in 2025, I want you to think about what a few of your peers in this community, what they've accomplished. And all of you know, I don't hold any hands. I don't say buy here, sell here, place a stop here, move your stop here. I don't do that. But all of you have access to the same material, the same content. And there's a large population of winning, consistently profitable traders that are students of mine that have no interest in coming forward on social media, least of all on X. They have no aspiring desire to do a mentorship of their own. They're not starting up Discords. They're not starting up Signal services. They're living their life now, happily, without their job, and they're doing quite well. And some of them are multimillionaires, and they've acquired that just in the last few years. The things that I've been teaching, they focused in on it. They cut out all the fat and said, okay, I'm going to get very focused about where I'm taking myself, and I'm going to limit the time and exposure to things that I know aren't going to build me up. I'm not going to waste time with all that stuff on the weekend, putting that stuff inside me, because I have things to focus on, and I have to be clear-headed. I have to be sober-minded. Look what Kyle was able to do. Look what Kane was able to do. Candace. Sean. The list is growing.